Gigi, 2-1 defeat today. How do you reflect on that?
Another tough day. Not good enough. Ultimately, not good enough. Teams, no disrespect to Kettering, but a team like that we should be beating. You know, you can. I'm not one for excuse in the slightest, but you can argue about the full-time element of York and Gateshead, but ultimately that's not good enough out there today, and we've got to find a way. They've obviously come with a game plan and a way of playing, and we've got to be better than we were today to find a way of breaking that down, because to me personally I don't think it's good enough, and ultimately as players we've got to take responsibility for that. On the pitch we're the ones that can affect that, and ultimately today we weren't good enough.
And how hard is it when you concede a goal after 90 seconds when it's an error the way it is as well? It must be so difficult to then carry on and try and rejuvenate your game plan.
Yeah, I think the way the manager wants us to play, you're always susceptible to an error, but Toby's arguably been our best player this season and most reliable player throughout the season, so it's going to happen. You know, it happens at all levels of football, mistakes, and ultimately defenders, if you make a mistake 9 out of 10 times it's a goal, and it's happened today, but we've got to have a bit more character and a bit more about us than that to go and sort of try and win the game, and I think ultimately we need to be better. Yeah, we need to be better, and it's frustrating because we're in the corner a little bit when the manager come in and stuff like that, and the last few games it's been a bit of a struggle. But we need to find a way as a group of players to turn that around, because we're the ones on the pitch who can affect it, and we've not been good enough. Not been good enough the last few weeks. Like I say, you can argue about the full-time teams, Gateshead and York, but we should be competing with teams like that, because no disrespect to them, we're as good as them. You know, we really are on our day, and but out there today they got the 3 points, and that's all that matters to them.
Yeah, and it was one of them games as well where it was an improved performance. I think, to be honest, the fairest result for me would have been a draw. So is it more frustrating when you feel like you're playing well, you match them at least, and just come away just short through a deflected goal, really?
Yeah, I think the first half we had a few chances. Maybe we've got to put 1 or 2 of them away, and it's a different story. But I think in the second half we knocked on the door, but we couldn't sort of break it down, and it was tough. It was tough. They set up to get everyone behind the ball in the second half, and when you're at home you've got to go and break that down. And it was tough, but like I said before, we've got to try and find a way. You know, it might not be pretty, it might not be a beautiful way to win a game, but against teams like that and in performance like that, you've got to try and find a way to at least not lose, and hopefully try and grab a cup and win the game. But it's just frustrating, you know. Like I said, we think we turned the corner a little bit when the manager come in, and as a group of players we've got to stand up now and be counted, because we need to try and turn it around and not get drawn into the bottom. We want to look up, and when he come in we were looking up, and unfortunately the last few weeks we've been looking over our shoulder a bit. So it's up to us as a group of players to do that, and I'm sure training this week we'll try and address that ahead of Guysy next week.
Yeah, you mentioned Guysy, just lastly, it's a old cliche, but it's a 6-pointer, isn't it? It's not, you know, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. We've got to go there confident, you know, another part-time team, so we've got to go down there next Saturday. Everything to gain. We were brilliant against them here, we played them here earlier in the season, and we've got to go there full of confidence and try and find a result, you know. I think there's a few losses on the bounce now, so we want to go there with a bit of confidence hopefully, and try and rectify and have a good end to the season. You know, we don't want it to peter out, we don't want to be drawn into a relegation battle, but we want to get people going home happy, as the manager says, and the last few games we haven't been able to do that, but hopefully starting next week we've got guys who can go on a little bit of a run and try and do that.
Thank you, Gigi.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.